What was I before the heaven and the earth came to existence? What was I before the heaven and the earth came to existence? What was I? My friends and practitioner. Practice meditation. Emphasize practicing. When the practitioner get reality practicing, add a question, raising doubt, continue to add question, maintaining doubt. Truly, that's the period of time. Doubt rising, receive out attachment. No attachment there. No gain something, no see something, no fear something. Doubt will help the practitioner automatically sweep out attachment and far away the ignorance that automatically, feels or don't thinking on that. That's the real practice, the real practice. If we use practice and see the successful, we practice with the thinking of no attachment on the thinking thing. That's the attachment, still attachment. Even the daily living life, we are so busy, we are so get a lot of trouble. But if the practitioner still practice on that all of the situation, that question before the heaven and the earth came to existence, what was I? Raising the doubt really the attachment, automatically the attachment. We don't find another method. We don't find the thing to again attachment or again the ignorance or again the situation we are receive or we are be into that. Don't worry, just add a question in any situation, any kind of situation. The situation because the receive up the feeling, receive up the conception. So the feeling is conception in that the illusion. That's the attachment. Practice will relieve the illusion and the conception like that. The pathway encourage the practitioner. In one method or one door, we have to get through. Don't look out so many kind of door. In one door, we can get through. Nhức mồm thâm nhập. Because we see something, because we gain something, so we look up so many ways to practice, and we don't know which one we can choose, which one we can select. That's the problem of our attachment, our ignorance. We still get strong belief in the feeling, strong belief in the conception. That's a mistake. We don't believe, get strong belief in our own mind. All mind really the dualism, to leave the subjective, objective. We still in the subjective, objective. So we don't believe in the all mind. That the problem of the practice always stuck in the practice. So the practice not easy. It is very, very easy, but not easy because self-attachment, because ignore, because subjective and objective. If we forget subjective, objective, if we forget the dualism, we just ask the question, raising down, it becomes very, very easy in the practice. So just practice. Kính thưa quý thầy, quý sư cô.
The monastic sanghas and all Zen practitioners, the patriarchs usually remind us that we need to focus on one mind or one door, one practice, because our minds usually runs off with the a lot of something to gain, something to hold on to, something to fear, and we choosy with a lot of tradition, a lot of practice, and we want to find out a lot different practice. But the 84,000 teachings for different sickness, and we want to study a lot to become a doctor, just a metaphor. So only the awakened one is able to determine the way, to treat certain Zen sickness, or disease, in a worldly doctor. But for the Zen, and our Zen, as a Zen practitioner, we need to practice and also study. And the practice here is we need to slowly get to one door, one practice. And the Zen master Thich, he asked by the disciples, there are so many teachings out there. How can I, focus on one? So it's just, he said that, if you're able to stay on one door and try it out and find out what is the mind is, and just focus on that object and study and practice. It's not about try to do the research in school as a scholar. And Buddhism is not about the scholarship, but about a practice, and the main focus is the practice. And when you're able to get the right teaching, the right learning, then you're able to focus on one practice, and then you're able to understand more about the practice. And the most important thing is the teaching that help us to let go of our self-attachment. So with the practice, we need to just focus on one practice. And we need to practice and study under one teacher. So different sect, different tradition, they do the same thing. Like the Pure Land, you need to practice and learn it under one teacher and find out. And slowly we're able to clearly understand the path. So this is an example or a metaphor. So if there's a heavy table and one cannot carry by himself, then we need to ask for another help, another hand. And if two persons cannot lift that table, then we need to ask for another, and so on. So this is the same analogy that we, if we're not able to find out about the teaching, you need to keep going, go on and find out until you able to realize, the teaching. So, and if you want to resolve the problem with the carrying the heavy table, then we need to solve it. And if three people, cannot carry that table, then we need to find another person, and so on. And the practice is not just use of force, too much effort, but we have to use how to resolve our own stuckness. And the main reason is our self-attachment and from the ignorance, and it's so deep in layers of ignorance. And when you hear people say that, oh, you don't know anything about Buddhism, or you don't know anything about a practice, then you feel like you lost, and you feel insecure about your own practice. And the sound maybe coming from your own mind, that talking is come from your own mind as well, and you turn into confusion. So if you're aware that your mind is run off with the form, the name, the fame, and so on, just like in the Dharma teaching of the Diamond Sutra. If one practice, just focus on the sound, the smell, and the touch, it's not really truly return to the Buddha nature. And right now, if we practice Huatou, and right now we're not actually ahead of the Huatou, so we are always behind the Huatou. So we just need to continue to focus on asking the question until you get ahead of the Huatou. Get to the Huatou. So this practice is not about, try to lift up something and then drop something. So it's people, when they realize that there's no such imaginary flowers in the void. So asking the question and ask the question that able to have the doubt. If you're able to keep the doubts long, if it doesn't have any doubt, that's okay too, and it just, as long as you can continue with the practice. So when we practice, we have a lot of comic causes, like our drowsiness, disgusted thoughts, tiring the body, and a lot of obstacles come from our mind and body, and from the external as well. So because of our something to gain, something to seek, and something to fear mentalities is always there. It's every second is arise, and they never really leave us. So therefore, we need to ask the question clearly. Each question needs to be clear, truly, sincerely. So it doesn't matter what conditions, earthquake, hurricane, your question is not disappear. So just like Zen Master Laikwa, when somebody slapped him, he didn't even know. So the question need to maintain all the time. And like Zen Master Laikwa, he also experienced when he's supposed to eat the lunch at the same pace as with other practitioners, but he didn't, because he was asking the question so diligently, and he gets slapped again, and he said that, oh, should I apologize, and then he said, no, I should not apologize and continue with the practice, and doesn't matter what. He continued with his practice. So under any circumstance, we should not fear, just focus on the practice. So that is when the mind is almost reached to the Huatou. So, and not able to recognize the situation happening around us. And for the Zen master, likewise, when he heard the wooden fish being hidden 3 times, then he achieved the awakening. So when practitioner able to have the 10 out of 10 for the doubt, then the 10 out of 10 for the awakening. So don't worry about our own habitual energies, and something that we feel like satisfied with our achievement, something that we already gained, and something that we already able to hold on to, that is come from our own worldly mind. So our minds always get caught into the distinction between right and wrong, because it's come from our fear, and we fear that we maybe practice wrong and so on. And when you're able to let go of the self attachment, and the energy of ignorance doesn't have enough force to pull us, and so this is just mainly focus on our true practice. And when the true practice is going to leave us the subject and object behind. So that's the talk for this morning. So right now, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, or you want to share your experience. Combination for resolve birth and death. So just correct me if I practice correctly. So in this life, everyone is suffering. Rich people are suffering, poor people are suffering. So each person have different suffering. So is this like because our past karma? So it's personally I have a lot of suffering. I don't have a lot of happiness, but a lot of suffering. So from the day I was born, from 1 year old to 2 year old, during the difficult, we have a very difficult life. And from 20 to 24 years old, and I have my family, and I even have more suffering like 20 years ago or 24 years ago. And then after that, from 40 to 60, then I try to help my kids, have their own families, and I have more suffering. And then I did not have a chance to have the Dharma. So from 60 to 80, I'm 80 years old. I still have difficulties with life. My wife, I'm sorry, my husband is still sick for the last 15 years. I don't have any happiness at all. And I just want to find a way to resolve this suffering. And right now I'm at the very old age, and it's have little time to resolve it. I don't have much choice left, and just try my best to do the practice. So this suffering, I just want to get out of this suffering. It's just like the wheel is keep turning, go in the cycle, and cannot get out of the cycle. It's very difficult. Yeah, so I try my best to do the practice. Talking about the Dharma, I recently practiced this in 2019.
Nếu mà con thí dụ thôi ạ, có một cái ông Phật hoặc là con biết là không bao giờ có ông Phật hiện hình được, nhưng mà
just imagine like the Buddha appeared and gives me two life, two choices. The first choice is return to relive my life, or the second choice is to die. I would choose the second choice, and to try my best to practice. So if I die and then I go to next life, and the next life may be even harder or difficult, more difficulty, and I'm just lost in this. And how can I practice? Just like the Buddha, he was born in a royal life and has everything, and he left. He left. So I just have this determined for the practice. Yeah. So is that the way? Is there another way? Can you show me the way? Okay. Thank you.
Cô cũng có nghe hiếp tôn giả.
Have you heard of the 10 patriarch from India?
Hiếp tôn giả nhất sanh bất trước tịch đấy.
And he was 80, and he start practice at 80 years old, and he achieved awakening 83 years old. So there's no age differentiation. just about a practice. So you have been through a lot, 80 years, and you recognize that from suffering to suffering, and it's not gonna end to the suffering because you live in the ignorant world, ignorant mind, and you try to find happiness in the suffering. Then it create layers and layers of suffering, and it's gonna return into the bigger suffering. So it's not true alleviation. So when you think you have husband and children, then you're gonna resolve the poor life. And then when you have a husband, you fear that he's gonna have an affair, and you have your children, and they create more suffering, from suffering to suffering, because of our self-attachment and ignorance. From young age to old age, we still have suffering. So your choice, you're gonna choose another life with suffering like this, and then you're gonna choose another life to die. Then that is even suffering when you choose to die. So the impermanence is always like surrounding us, and even when you go any direction, you still been attacked by the enemies. So it doesn't matter which way you go, you're gonna die, because we in the ignorance, we in the layers of self-attachment. So just right now, you need to just focus what in front of you with the practice, and you're able to solve the problem right away. So the practice is automatically let go of the self-attachment, and because of the ignorance, all these scenarios, the scenarios here is only danger. You say, if you want to go to the front, you also get killed. If you go back, you also get killed. So doesn't matter which direction you go, you're gonna get into danger. It's just like burning house. So it's the example here in the Lotus Sutra is a burning house, and we're born in this rich family, has a big house, and we thought we're happy in this family, this rich family. So don't worry about your age. Just focus on the practice, and right there you're able to keep going. So you already show the seed of prajna right there, and the fruits of prajna will given to you. So if this life you're not able to solve the birth and death, and the next life is going to continue. So as long as you have the sincere practice, it's not just run after this another self-attachment, form the fame, and if you truly practice, if you take care of your practice like a jewel, and we know that, we understand the whole thing, but somehow we don't practice. We're not really focused on the practice. So that's come from our own habits, and the karmic energy come from many lives as well. So the practice the patriarchs and the wise teacher always remind us that the path on in our life is full of suffering. It's just like a lot of maneuvers and a lot of objects that is very danger objects. So right now we have a very clear path for go upward, and we don't want to go on this good path, clear path, but we want to fall back to the old dangerous road with manures and all that stinky path, and we want to go return to that path, and we complain and we get dirty and we want to clean again, and we don't want to stay clean, but we want always get in dirty and then we get clean again, and we just blindly go into that path. It's come from our ignorance and strong self-attachment. So the truth is focus on the practice. So you don't have to know anything else. Just focus on the practice. So when you have a strong distinction, strong differentiation, come from our own ignorance and self-attachment, our own ego, and so only the true teaching of the Buddha able to help us resolve these problems. It's going to dissolve itself with our own self distinction or differentiation, and we go beyond the duality and self-attachment. And everyone in life in some way attached to their own view, their own perspective, their own rights, and even the animals too. And the animals, they also fight their own rights as well. And even the most idiot animal, they have this kind of ego as well. So we find this relative and we attach to, and we think it's the absolute. So therefore, we have to use different teaching, different words to define, our false perception, our false thinking mind, and so that way we able to let go of our own attachment to the view. Just like tell our eye consciousness not to look, not to view, but we still want to listen to. And when people say, "Oh, don't see," and then they're gonna get rid of their eyes, so that's really wrong view. And when we listen, we're not distinct, right and wrong. But actually, we still listen to the sound, but we don't have to distinguish right and wrong all the time. And so this is only comes from our own self-practice, and we're able to do that. So true, when we're talking about sincere practice, and we're able to understand truly about our going for the next life, we don't have to know because we already sow the seed of prajna. So we just focus on the practice. We just fear that we're not able to focus or prolong our practice. So if we have short-term memory, then sometimes we don't even remember our children names, and because of our short-term memory. and this is because of our karma. And we cannot hold on to the knownness all the time. It's become illusion. And we love to hold on to these elusive thoughts all the time. And we don't want to let go. And that's why we're not able to return to our salvation, or basically to practice. So the basic thing in the practice, you ask the question, before heaven and earth came into existence, what was I? So just ask that question, and it's gonna create a doubt. And if you have the mind that always focus on the practice, then you already have that doubt already, and that mind is not gonna create more work for you. Like go to make more money. But the mind is only focused on the practice and remember the practice. Only remember the focus on the path. So just like what we're doing right now, every day we listen to the practice, listen to the teaching, listen to the explanations, and sometimes we have a little slacking. Maybe we get tired with the body, we're getting tired with the practice. So we need to recognize this is come from our own karmic energy. So we should not sit and so people again recognize that or praise you, for the sitting. So we just need to practice focus. One case is someone want to sew up, the practice. And in this situation, we don't need to worry about it. We don't have to worry about what people say, but we just need to focus on the practice and maintain the doubts. So that's a practice. So do you understand? Yes, thank you, Thầy. So we are running out of time. Thank you, everyone. So the unanswered question we're gonna answer